Hi, everybody.
Hello.
We're 3 minutes late because of me. I've had a hard time getting up and getting going this morning.
And Nancy has great stories too.
Well, that's true.
The wise one. I always like hearing her stories.
Well,
Thank you, Christine. Blessed be all. Light and love carry us all through this process, growing to be better people. That's beautiful. Love it.
mhm.
Jeff sees empty shelves. It could be true. At least some things. Got Donnie $2. Yes, congratulations, Australia, staying center.
No kidding. And may the 4th be with you.
Everyone else in the world has common sense except the United States, but we think.
But that's okay. They had their guy. They had their guy that they defeated their initiative to help the indigenous people reclaim their land, and they had that fight, and they had bad guys in charge then. So.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that I don't think anybody's bad guys are as bad as ours. Today, I was going to look at news headlines just so I'd kind of catch up because I've been in birthday land and I have not been. I've been dealing with friends a close friend who was diagnosed with early Alzheimer's last week, and she's not here. I had to deal with her long distance, and we talked about it, and she's good about it. She knows why she's fading. But think about this. I mean, she knows why she's fading. And we have a guy in the White House we know has this. And, he's doing nothing. But so I was going to look at the news headlines just to try to catch up. And the first one was Trump says in an interview that he doesn't believe in due process. Okay.
Yeah, that ain't going to work out well.
That's not going to work out well.
No.
And so, I just want to know when the Supreme Court's going. I want to know when the Supreme Court's going to go after one of his underlings. And the first one, can I put on the chopping block? Can I put in my suggestion now?
Oh. Go right ahead.
Miller. Put Miller up there. He's the one. I did a kind of a automatic writing on it, and he's really running Trump. That little cabal of reborn Nazis are running Trump right now. And,
Yeah.
And I want to know, I don't know who they were, and I have not been able to find out, but they had a vote where the Senate would have killed the tariffs last week. And it came out to a 50-50 vote because 2 Democrats weren't there. They got their 2 Republicans.
White House was gone, and it was 49-49, and White House and someone else was gone. They were traveling or whatever.
Well, Sheldon, I'm very disappointed because you should have busted your butt. And this is part of that thing about right after COVID when they wouldn't allow you to vote absentee because of illness.
Right.
Got caught up in anyway. So yes, it's a frustrating wheel spinning time, but my guides keep saying, unlike your friend, I do think we're going to have to see some empty shelves because I think that's the only way and it's going to happen in the part of the country where the Trumpsters are.
It'll hit the remote locations worse.
Yeah, and I read an article. I didn't read it. I read parts of an article yesterday about a couple who are immigrants, but they moved to West Texas. I mean, they moved to the panhandle of West Texas. And I cannot tell you a place. I moved to Dallas, and it's pretty basic, but I would not move to the panhandle of Texas for all the money in the world. And they moved there and took up these very vital jobs, and they've been told that they can't stay there because they're immigrants. And this is from a state thing. This is our governor being ignorant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think every time the orange one talks, he talks about Elon and rigging, and there's no doubt. He always admits it.
Mm-hmm.
We just pray to the gods that there is a recount. Now, speaking of recount, I didn't know that, but Canada hand counts everything.
I didn't know that.
They have no machines.
Cool.
They hand count every ballot. That was a nice surprise. I'm like, what? Pretty tough to cheat that way.
You know, in Texas, it took forever for us to get where they gave us. I mean, for the longest time, it was just a black box. You voted and it went in. And then 4 years ago, the first time, I think, Ford, God, am I going back in time? That Biden ran, they printed, who you voted for on the ballot. And that's the ballot you stuck in, that if they ever went back to recount, that would be the ballot they would see. And it was printed so you could read it. You could see the names. They now print our trackable ballots in a font I didn't even know existed. I mean, I actually asked, not this time, but the time before, I said, do you have a magnifying glass so I can verify this says who I voted for? And the guy said, yeah. He said, we didn't even know this was going to look like this till we got it. It's that tiny. So we had our city elections, and it's going to be a runoff between the guy I like and the guy that is being backed in the area of the city I live in, the guy who's being backed by all of the big developers. But it came out really close, so.
I don't know. There's a lot of empty homes and condos around my area. I think they were expecting a good economy when they.
Well, they were. And they were also expecting to charge killer prices because of the effect COVID had on the price of things.
There is a lot. Yeah, I noticed the clown was on Kristen Walker this morning, Meet the Press, regurgitating the same lies again.
Who was?
Trump. He's on with Kristen Walker this morning.
Oh.
Again, and same old spew of nonsense. Ugh. Work requirements for Medicaid. Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Republicans don't care. Anything crazy. There's some crazy bills going out in North Carolina, too.
Well, they're all pissed because the court said, nope, you're going to have to put that person on the court. Those 60,000 votes count. So they're looking down there. My daughter has a classmate from college that's now a sitting congressperson from North Carolina.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh, Rose. Do you know the first time this came up? I was a sparkly little 23-year-old working at a public broadcasting station here in Dallas, Channel 13. And Richard Nixon said he was not going to fund PBS. And it started a war like you've never seen. And we had a guy named Ralph Rogers, who was a very wealthy, very conservative, but very wealthy man, who was on our board, who thought it was culturally we were the best of what was going on. So he went to DC, and I remember when that all happened, and everybody was like, oh my God, you might not have a job next week. And I said, we'll see. And I do not believe that they're going to defund NPR or PBS.
Nope.
Yeah.
Queen of Coins, and my angelic card. That's all the goodness in the universe, and then the sun. That's the ending. The funding's there. It's going to be a fight. I think he's just sad at the negative press that NPR and PBS.
He just wants he's regurgitating, and this has come out before. He's just reworking his old material to keep his people thinking he's out there fighting for us.
No. In the past, it's obvious because he's sad about their content.
Oh yeah. Well, Nixon.
They want Five of Coins is defunding. Five of Wands would be the sadness over the strength of what they bring. So yeah, it's just
Nixon was pissed because we held the Watergate hearings in the evening. We just replayed what happened during the day at night. And people who came home from work wouldn't have had a chance to see it because, as you know, you could not find everything. There was no internet. Maybe some people don't remember that, but anyway. No, it's going to cause them more of their own death. In my bunny cards.
Good bunny. Brenda, she watched half Meet the Press. Trump scares her.
Don't watch him.
It's amazing how he can still function at times, but it's nonsensical stuff that comes out of his mouth. He is very dangerous.
And he's a mouthpiece for about Scott and I were discussing this about Steve Miller. He's fronting for those young clowns who are not clowns. Unfortunately, they were in the first administration.
Yeah, that Moran interview was unhinged. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt that man thought MS-13 was tattooed on his.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was nuts. He really believed that. Scott Jennings is talking about running for governor or something, I guess, in Kentucky or Senate, one of the two.
He could run for Senate. The only thing you can't do if you're not an American is president. All the other offices are available to you.
Yeah, it's unreal what that guy spews on CNN. You know, they have that CNN 5 host, kind of like what Fox News does, and
See, y'all watch this shit. I don't know.
Well, he's crazy. Lies like crazy.
Well, look what happens when you don't lie. You're out doing internet stuff with Katie Fang.
Okay. I'm going to do a couple this month and next month.
Okay, I can do them on the garden.
See how this month goes for him, the administration, and next month.
Well, good of you to think he's going to have one.
Okay. Give me 4 cards. Give me the order.
So we're doing May and June.
Well, yeah, I was going to just do May 1st.
Okay.
And then flip over to June. I think his big issues are hitting him now. This week I got 7 of Wands, a Tower, and the Knight of Swords. So I think there's a heavy things hitting him right now. Knight of Swords. That's that heavy energy of trying to be powerful, and it's not working. And 7 of Wands always looks like that defending card. Yeah. So things are crumbling right now. Heavy in the feel like that heavy in the heart feeling.
Okay.
What do you get for this week?
Okay. Ooh. Well, his spirit rolled kind of off the board, but he's got some very his I don't usually read politics in the garden, so this is going to be difficult. Not that difficult, but path forward. Look carefully right now for all the omens are gathering around you. Oh, it doesn't sound happy. New things are emerging. Physical changes are really coming around him. And he's also got that in air. And he's got his mind is in air. And he has to keep his own thoughts together. And you said it, Scott, that's kind of difficult for him right now. Something's going to come out of his past. This is clarification comes from dealing with your past. And I'm going to see what the crown being the spirit's going to be about. The fact that it fell out of there, I mean, it literally fell right out of there. If it had landed there, it would have meant spirit harmonizes his efforts, but I think that means he can't get his act together. Basically, that's kind of a quick reading of that. So so that's what those this is really hard. This is bad. With this, because when stones roll out of a reading, it means that's well, first of all, he's missing spirit anyway. But I think it's the spirit is working, but these are very heavy energies that nothing's balancing it. Nothing's coming in and saying this is going to be made better by you know.
Okay. You done with this week?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, I got the Hangman,
Mm-hmm.
Seven of Swords, and the Five of Wands. Things are just getting worse. I think the administration is stuck. They don't know where to turn. They're just going to continue the lies with that Seven of Swords, trying to defend their honor and whatnot, and it isn't going anywhere. I think they're going to get called out more.
Mm-hmm.
That Five of Wands is just that's a inactive card. It's like can't get any movements.
Mm-hmm.
So look for a lot of defense next week.
You got the Five of Wands in there.
Yes.
What I get a sense if I saw the Five of Wands in there, there's so much infighting going on around him that what little direction they've had is going to fall apart. Most important stone here, the earth, the body stone is falling between restate and past. And when you put those two together, options are not clear. And you can't, he's looking to previous things that helped him, but they're not helping at all. And his mind is in his root chakra, and creativity would be the way out, but they're incapable of bending from what they want to do because they're just not moving. And then in his go for it, which is usually a very positive space, his spirit's there and his grounding is there. And what's happening is he can't get everybody aligned with the right set of ideas. They had a whole lot of push with 2025 coming in. They've gotten a lot of crap done. I mean, they've gotten a lot of stuff done. But I'm most interested in clarity coming from the tree of life. And when you have clarity, what's happening around him right now, what's happening to him right now is blessed by wisdom and grace. What I think is going to happen is, looking at this, and I don't normally do negative people on here, so he should have, if his people were creative and good and able to move with the times, but they've got their set little patterns, they can't break it. They can't mentally get out of that point, and they are kind of stuck right now with where they are, and it's really going to blow up on them. I think something's going to happen that guy's going to come out of San Salvador, and that's going to kill him. As long as he can say, I'm locking those people up, even if they don't have the right tattoos on their hands and stuff. So I can get away with that. But once he comes back, people start to say, well, how'd they do that? If you can run the world and you can do everything we want done, it may be the return of that man. Or the other, there's two of them down there now that they're trying to get out.
Well, every single one of them should be coming back.
I understand.
Yeah. I think it's this week.
Mm-hmm.
Judge Boasberg is I think it's Boasberg demanding depositions by Trump officials.
See, all they have to do is get one of those little bastards, and they will squeal like little pigs. It's going to be like watching Nixon's underlings go.
So you could I would sense there would be a last minute deal to bring him back instead of having them in court.
Mm-hmm.
You come in or it's contempt time. So I think they're getting serious. And Bukele is walking it back.
Yeah, well,
because the agreement was convicted only. He doesn't want to look bad because he does a lot of trade with Europe and gets a lot of funding.
Yeah, that's what's hitting him
from the EU. So he doesn't want
mm-hmm.
to lose face around the country, around the world. Week 3, we have agreements coming in with the Two of Cups, Two of Coins making deals, and then I had the King of Swords. So there is cooperation here. I think the courts win. A lot of victories coming in the week 3 for the courts.
Yeah, so, a lot of. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go. That's it.
A lot of heavy-duty cosmic wisdoms coming in to set some adjustments, and once again, and he has his week's marked by go for it, and new ideas are being aligned with values. I think that's the week when the courts finally do step in and start getting his people or getting those guys out. They're going to hang firm, though. They're going to hold on to what their little racist beliefs. But this is a really good card right now. This is a really good card. This is a really good stone. It says we're letting go of the limitations that we felt. That may be that the courts are finally saying, okay, we've given them all the rope they need. We've got all the stuff we need. We're going after them. And when we've got spirit in air, and the whole, this is spirit. This is the whole environment around this is change, because this is letting go of limitations. There's no other way to read that stone. So they're going to have to let go of the limitations that they've been trying to hold on people. You want to do week 4?
Yeah. Okay. End of the month, I have Two of Swords. There's Crossroads, choices to be made.
Mm-hmm.
Knight of Wands, positive energy, and King of Wands. I think they're losing.
They're losing because what we've got here.
They're losing. They have better leaders, better intelligence, better minds coming forward, better energy, and they're going to have to make concessions.
Right. This is break from past experiences and learn from them. That's where they're going to be. And they've got their clarity is between their root chakra and the go for it. And Go for it. They're gonna be forced to move now on intuitions they had back here because that stone was up there last week. Their body is emerging. They want to embody their past, but they're being forced to come to understand some physical limitations. This is grounding principles. Much more is going to be brought forward that's going to support all the movement that's up here. And their spirit of that week is locked between spirits transforming our thinking and transmutation. This is going to be a huge week because for spirit to have transmutation, even partially in completion, that means that's a big week for a whole lot. The fourth week of May is going to set the groundwork for the rest of the next upcoming month.
Okay. Now we got June.
Mm-hmm.
Things are going to get bad for him the first week of June. 9 of Swords, fear.
Mm-hmm.
5 of Swords. They're going to be taking a lot of heat, and 8 of Swords locked up. I could clarify that one. Holy cow. First week is very bad for the Trump administration and him. One clarifier, please. That gives me the energy of like he wants to get away or he's going to be having some severe problems here.
No quick trips to Saudi Arabia.
King of Wands. So far, it looks like by the third week, everything of May, we have a few more weeks of chaos and court cases, and then going like the third week of May, everything starts to downfall for this administration. It feels like with this, they get restricted maybe by the Supreme Court. They're losing everything, courts, because 8 of Swords is complete restriction. You're unable to do what you need to do. 5 of Swords is feeling powerless. Hey, Melissa.
So where are you with what you're reading?
I just did the first week of May.
Okay, the first week of May I've got
June. Sorry.
June. The first week of June I got things are not going their way. They're being schooled. They're having to work with people I don't want to work with. They're being forced to pay. They're having to pay the piper. They thought they were in their little golden jewel place, but they're going to find out that they have to make decisions if they want to stay there. And I don't think they're going to make good decisions. The reason I'm not throwing the stones anymore, guys, is the messages I was getting was the stones were rolling for the people and for him, and I can't make the stones roll for him. They don't want to roll for him. So
yeah, it's rough energy.
I'm good. I'm not that good. So what I see is this week's going to start out with them tumbling down, and they're trying to work with people, but it's not working. And the payoffs they thought they were going to get, they're not going to get. And we're going to feel much more comfortable at the end. And at the end, they have to make a decision in that week. So what do you get for the second week?
Everything else for June is moving into positive territory. 8 of Wands is positive movement and energy. Page of Cups is new offers, new abundance coming in. And then the Queen of Coins. A female enters the realm or security. So this, yeah, so that would be around the Orange Man's birthday. Positive things start moving.
Is that when we don't have the parade that screws up all of DC's streets forever?
I don't think that's happening.
I don't think so. It's happening yet.
I mean, $100 million, I think MAGA would be pretty pissed about that.
I don't know. The best quote I heard from Jasmine Crockett this week was pennies for the people and millions for missiles.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Republicans.
It's the law that's coming in.
Good.
And what the Queen of Cups has been able to keep hidden in her cup, it's going to become revealed. So there's going to be a revelation, and it's going to make people have to grow a pair, make a choice, understand that as adults we don't do this. And I think it's going to give some Republicans some courage. The Dems are already there. And this is always the Knight of Swords since I was a kid, has always meant to me sudden and complete movement. If it's about a person, it's moving houses or jobs. If it's about an organization, it's taking a giant step forward from the stance it's been stuck in. The Knight of Swords is always swift movement. So the second week's going to be fun. And it's starting off with justice.
Yeah, it sure feels like accountability is coming and better things are moving forward.
Okay. So what about the third week?
Third week, I got the 10 of Wands. Those heavy burdens, but it is an ending card of certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Ace of Cups, Love of Bond comes flowing in.
Mm-hmm.
Flow, and then the Eight of Coins, the rebuilding process.
Well,
Wow.
Yeah, I see the moon, which means looking past the things we've tried to hide and bury, being aware they're there. And I see the Wheel of Fortune finally showing up saying, this is when our energy changes. This is when it moves upwards from being depressed. They've been waiting for, on the other side, waiting for the Knight of Wands to come, and he's not swooping in. But two other individuals, and I think these are individuals, are going to play a very major role in how we see the world. They're going to help reframe what we're seeing from this. It's a male and a female. So, and look at the end of my fourth week.
What is that?
The Tower.
Good.
It's more than the Tower. We've got people are going to try to say we have to be balanced about this, and everybody's going to say, "Are you kidding me? This is it's a delusion to put up with this crap." They're going, we want the devil out. This card is the devil. They want the devil out. So the out cards for the month of June, talking about the Orange Man's June, is the 10 of Wands, where everybody throws it down and says no more, and a complete change. 10s always mean endings. I read for a poor guy yesterday, and every reading we got, he had 10s in him every single time. I kept saying, it's over. I tell you, guys, it's over.
Yeah, mine shifted from Tower type moments earlier than I'm getting great cards.
That's a great card if you think about him having a Tower moment.
Right. I mean, I'm not getting, Tower, Devil, Death, all great cards for endings of situations.
Mm-hmm.
But my cards are showing abundance coming already.
Well, I didn't ask about what's happening to us. I can lay cards about what's going to happen to us.
I just put the question in, and this is what come out for me.
I understand.
But yeah, I mean, it coincides.
It works.
Because I got 9 of Cups.
Mm-hmm. People are going to get what they want.
Lover's card, making new connections and agreements. And then the 9 of Coins. These are all balance and reaffirming things. The tariffs can be over, trying to rebuild. all the chaos is over. So I'm honestly, after the third, fourth week of May, things just get better.
I'm going to throw for the country, for all of us, in June.
You go.
Okay. Oh, good. They're all in the upper half.
They didn't fall off the table?
No, nothing came off the table. They're all in good place. I have, when Sheila, when we first had the garden, we were trying to, she didn't believe me that I couldn't really throw about politics in this. It didn't work as well. And so she kept saying, oh, let's try. So she was reading Colorado. I was reading, this was a live show. And every time we tried to throw about the dumpster fire, the mental stone, this one about mental health, it rolled off both of our boards. 2 separate locations, 2 separate views. Anyway, just saying. We're going to understand by the end of June. In June, we're going to come to the understanding of what's correct. Our ability to ground is going to help us get through the worst of it. We have our mind and our spirit are in the past. And there's a part of us that doesn't want to think that everything ever blew. But what it's going to say is, have you missed it? With these stones in the past, have you missed it? The transformations actually happened. So whatever they've done to stop the path we've been on is going away. And we're going to break from previous patterns and move on to new experiences. And I think that's really important because of the way they've screwed everything up and done it so quickly. I think it's time that we looked at a lot of these gentlemen agreements, because first of all, they're gentlemen agreements, and I don't make gentlemen agreements, but they're going to be different. And our out card in this case is the grounding stone, and it's in the future. And all the gifts that are happening during this time are not yet recognized, but they're all happening. Changes, shifts, complete mental breaks from where you've been before are gone. So I think America grows up. I think we take on structurally, we start to, I don't know how we do it, but we begin to structurally take on the things we need to change in order to stop this kind of, I'm sitting in my little tower and you're doing shit,
Oh, let's get her done.
Get it done.
Positive flow. Okay. From your questions you put in, is our military going to fall in line with 45's plans or stand up to the dictator? And their oath. They need to remember that.
Mm-hmm. Well, all the lawyers on law day that were on the other side I'm not going to use bunny cards for the military. I'm going to use cat cards for the military. And I'm going to put them out here. That's 2 questions. Which way do you want to take it, Scott? That they're going to follow?
I'm just going to think of the military standing up, because that is basically dictator. And I think the cards will tell us.
Okay.
What is our military going to do when it comes down to illegal order?
When it's faced with a crisis in the next 60 days, I think.
Okay.
That making sense. Read those. These.
Okay. My energy for the read to look at. How top and bottom of the deck is 8 of Cups and Judgment.
Ooh.
They walk away because of Judgment. So in the now, I think greater minds have had conversations with our military.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a King of Swords.
Mm-hmm.
Is like could be a general, could be the leaders of the battalions and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And 10 of Swords and the 8 of Cups with that. That's telling me is that they've been informed if you do illegal orders, you'll get that 10 of Swords and Judgment.
Mm-hmm.
So I think as a whole, they would not uphold any bad orders. My outcome is Knight of Cups, protecting the people.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be if military person per se,
Mm-hmm.
in protection mode, not. Queen of Pentacles is prosperity. The Empress and Page of Pentacles. None of these show bad deeds, falling in line.
Mm-hmm.
They would do the right thing. So I'm not sensing him. In the end, the military would go against their oath. Because I think better heads have prevailed already in talking about this.
Okay. Okay. I get that they won't. There's a part of them that would say, but he's the commander in chief. But I think you're right. Someone's talking to them about dealing with it possibly. They'll weigh any orders sent into them, but in the end of the day, they don't get in the boat and they won't let him use their power for his own gain. So I see a lot of 9 of Swords, and when I had to do 3 readings because I got 2 readings that made no sense whatsoever. And I just got a sense of great confusion. I got also twice I got the Hangman. They just really don't know what to do.
Yeah, I think they're they're seeing what's happening with Hegseth, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're all that oblivious.
No, I don't think they're oblivious, but I think, what if the guy above you says do it no matter what? I mean, it's a formal chain of command that's based on a whole lot of people talking to each other.
Phoenix X was posted a couple times here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What about the India and Pakistan issue? Looks like they're going to war. Let's do a general.
Okay.
Let's do a general reading on what's going on in India and Pakistan.
Mm-hmm.
Now you would think, Jeff, that Pete has not stopped drinking. Jeff asks, is Pete Hegseth drinking?
The question is, has he stopped?
Yeah. You're welcome, Phoenix. Thanks for reposting. I didn't see that. Okay. More tensions in the world. India and Pakistan. What's going to happen?
Oh, I got a great big fat yes.
I'm not completely down. I know they're fighting or something, but guys are showing me military actions. Fighting. I have not looked up why. I know there's problems. Okay.
It's the same way Britain handled everything. All of the parts of the empire. They'd force people to be together that didn't want to be together. Then they'd split them apart. So it's an old habit they have. That's what happened to Iraq and Iran.
So in the past, I get problems with money. 5 of coins, the moon, and Queen of Swords. So either some bad dealings or theft of some money, maybe resources or something, but it's been a bad legal or otherwise kind of fight between them. And then in the current, bad energy between people with the 5 of Wands, 2 of coins, unsure where to turn, and then Page of coins. That feels like there would be, new battles starting with that Page of coins. Or riding into something new. I do have the 10 of coins next. So there could be great treasures they're fighting over, but it's all an illusion. Meaning it shouldn't be done. It should be done diplomatically, but I got the 10 of swords with that. So there's going to be a lot of people killed. They're not cooperating at all. There's not common minds coming forward. In the end, I think there's going to be agreement. Some leader with the King of Wands going to come together. 3 of coins is an agreement. 9 of swords is anxiety, and 3 of cups is a celebration. So it feels like after the chaos starts, I'm not getting like a long-term effect here, but no one wins here until cooler heads come to the table. So as far as splitting, nothing shows a split.
Well, they're already split. They're 2 different countries, and she's talking about the parts of Pakistan splitting into parts.
Right. I did have the 2 of coins early in the read, which would mean they are divided. But my ending doesn't show a split. I mean, it shows like a celebration. Anxieties are over. The 3 of coins would be an agreement coming together, documentation. And then King of Wands would be a cooler-headed leader leading this. So, yeah, it's a mess. But eventually things calm down better. I don't think they want a war completely. You got any other?
I got that it's not in the best point of either of their energies, but yes, they're going to go ahead with this. And it's all false battles, and it's all false wins, and they're all inventing things. Their middle card was illusions and delusions.
I got that too.
And they got the 2 of coins where they're trying to work a balance out, but they just can't all get in the same boat. They can't all work it out with each other.
Hi, Deborah.
It's tribal.
Deborah's Blue Tarot is who I was mentioning before. I just found her this morning and subscribed. But check out Deborah's Blue Tarot. Pop in and say hello. Thank you for the question. We looked at that. What is DOGE? What is the DOGE really mining for? Question came to you on your community page. What is DOGE really doing there? Besides chaos. Thank you, Lisa Foster. What is DOGE really doing in a government besides chaos and want to have AI do everything? Jeff thinks surveillance, prosecute.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I got the first part. It's not for any good action. It's the Ace of Swords reversed. They just want to poke around and things, see what they've got. Look who they're giving it to. The King of Cups.
Who's that king? It's a Furberry?
No,
Fur baby?
I think that king's like big business. It's like this would be like the ultimate data mining of figuring out what you want to do. They do not have any just or right reasons for doing this. This is justice reversed. And what they want to do is they want to pick winners and losers. That's a 5 of Pentacles. They want to pick who's inside the tent and who's outside the tent, and they want to define the tent, and they want to know exactly where the players are around the tent. And it's not going to end well. It's tower time.
It's not going to end well. Yes.
I think they want to do it so they can, I don't know what they would get from my tax records, but, I'm a little old lady who flips cards, right?
In the past, it's shown when the first thought came up, it shows positive energy. Like the idea was actually to get into the financials and actually do efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the 9 of Coins, Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands.
Mm-hmm.
Good cards, which is surprisingly coming out. I think the idea originally was a good idea, but they did it in a catastrophic kind of way. The 5 of Coins causing problems. They were looking for financial things, data, everything tangible. Queen of Coins can be companies, businesses. Knight of Coins can be contracts. But they caused a lot of problems in the process. But in the end, like you said, they will be done. Tower, complete loss and destruction. And then the Strength card is about not what they've been in there for to do is cause chaos, cause destruction, caused a lot of problems. The Strength card would be like power systems are not fail safe. Are protected. The government employees, but they are going to have a tower moment and come to an end, and they will have some bad karma coming. Bad karma.
Well,
a lot of things these DOGE bros are doing is illegal.
Well, it's illegal, and they're going to go for it, and they're, can't happen fast enough. The other problem is I watched a show. I just happened to, because my life is this dull, watch a big think talk on chaos theory. And they may think they've got it all plotted out and thinking, exactly how things are going to work out from this. But if you watch chaos theory, whenever we go in with our best thinking, it never ends up the way we think it's going to. And AI doesn't do a better job of that than we do. So I think no matter what they think they're going to get from it, it ain't going to be there. And it's just going to cause other unknown things to pop up. So.
Okay. Debsy asked about SCOTUS regretting their removing. Will they reconsider? Well, it's going to have to be cases that come up in front of them. You kind of see they're generally, besides Alito and Thomas, they seem to be, following the rule of law. So I don't think there's a process where they can just come out with a ruling and say, oh, we cancel immunity. They're going to have to pick through the cases that come in front of them how to reverse things.
Mm.
I don't. I don't sense a process where they can just magically do something.
I'm going to ask, are they going to reverse it? I'm not going to, I don't care. I don't care if they wake up every night at 3 a.m. with cold sweats because they gave him immunity. I just want them to get rid of it.
Yeah. Will Scalia somehow reverse their immunity ruling? Somehow reverse their immunity ruling.
Yes, I got that they are. And on the bottom of the card, I have the Wheel of Fortune. I hate to tell you guys this. I don't think the whole thing's going to be reversed until October. October 10 weeks. So that could be why Trump is having such a bad May, June, and July, if it's 10 weeks. If they know that's coming down the pipe.
Well, they're going to be getting those cases up,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and they're going to have to decide.
So I got what's behind the changes, the moon, that you know, the unexpected consequences of their not thinking the law all the way through in the first place, and they're sitting on their butts as long as they can without coming up with a ruling for us, but they are going to get the right case. The Knight of Pentacles is bringing in the right case. It's going to be a split decision. That's amazing, isn't it? But what it's doing is it's freeing our law to go back to being what it should be. There's the fool walking off the cliff.
Good.
So I think, and then like I said, at the bottom of the deck, I had the Wheel of Fortune, which means to me that's either the month of October or 10 weeks.
Well, I get the 10 of Swords, so that could be 10 weeks too.
Mm-hmm.
I got, they thought they were doing the right thing in the past. Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands, but it's got the 10 of Swords in the middle. So yeah, it's a backfire, right?
Mm-hmm.
What they did is a backfire. Moving forward, I feel like there's arguments and conflict in between them. The ladies, mainly the ladies, the Empress here, Duchess card, 5 of Wands and King of Wands. King of Wands here is probably Roberts. So arguments with the ladies. And all that's good and all that's right with that, my Duchess there. Obstacles. And in the future, you got the Wheel of Fortune, right? I got the Wheel of Fortune, tides of changing, Queen of Coins and 5 of Coins. So the ruin, what they created, will be over. So I got Wheel of Fortune and Queen of Coins on the outside. 5 of Coins in the middle. So they're going to reverse their mistakes at some point. Oh, thank you. Blessings.
Thank you.
Oh, Jeff too. Oh, bless you.
Mm-hmm.
And Deborah's Tarot. Bless you. Thank you so much this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow is SCOTUS Order Issuance Day.
Is what?
They must be issuing opinions or something tomorrow, according to Cece.
Oh, okay.
You're welcome, Deb. I try to grab them as I see them if it fits what we're flowing into. Otherwise, I starve them and wait. So, yeah. Linda. Oop. Constitution says Orange can be arrested for SCOTUS attempt. I'm not sure about President Orange. His underlings, definitely, for contempt.
Yeah, the immunity thing keeps him out of the contempt thing. So,
You know, when White House lawyers come in and lie to the court when
Mhm.
there's documentation and filings otherwhere and not doing what they're told, they can definitely arrest Miller or whoever is not facilitating.
Pam Bondi.
Fine Bondi could be arrested, but I don't think Orange Man can. Will Von
No.
Schickel and Pence send American troops to stand with Russia? No.
No.
Not will happen. Who's yapping in your background? Someone getting breakfast?
In my background, you're hearing
Yeah.
my kid bring home the week's worth of groceries from Costco. So y'all can listen to it because I don't have to carry them in and I don't have to put them away. So live with it.
Tom Homan is giving threats on Fox News about arresting Congress people
Well,
by their speech.
how about we arrest Fox News hosts?
That
I
would, be,
mean,
that would be a good start. Okay. I don't believe it. But is she safe? That's another thing. We know MAGA is domestic terrorists.
how is he going to arrest Congress people?
I mean, it's just nonsense, but it steers up the MAGA base to maybe have threats against AOC. I think she has beefed up protection a little bit because I think loss of funds. I think she is a little bit scared about the situation, but I had the 9 of Pentacles, meaning protection, balance. So I think she's safe, but there's some death threats there. Thanks to their rhetoric. Tom Homan could be the one to be arrested.
That's right. All of Fox News should be already got fined for telling lies.
Lisa Foster, we already agreed that 45 will not get his parade. The cost is going to be upsetting to his DOGE believe in MAGA friends.
Can we look at the karma question between Ukraine and Russia? Because that's the last one from my morning collection.
Oh, your morning collection. Okay. Karma. Is there a karma between...
Well, in theory, there's karma between everything. But what is the karma between the two of them?
So there might be some cosmic karma why they're fighting?
Right.
Okay.
They want the same resources. They want the same 6 of Pentacles. They really don't like each other. They think, for some reason, Russia thinks that their existence and their growing relies on getting rid of the Ukrainian. They really are from the same roots. So this is like, it's like Northern Ireland and Southern. I never understood my Irish bloodline that did that.
Right.
It's coming to an end. The 5 of Swords it's going away. And but even when it does, they're still going to argue about things. Historically, it's true. Ukraine was there before Russia. It was organized before the czars and stuff. But it's like, if you've ever been in a neighborhood association where they changed rules about how high fences could be, it just makes everybody nuts. And I mean, that's how high a fence is between somebody's yard and somebody else's yard. What these guys fight over, it's just Russia has an inferior, my reading of Russian history. And of course, I was raised by very Republican parents. And, so I never got a real clear view of Russia because that had all started long before I was born. But they've really had always kind of an inferiority complex. And the way they built themselves up was to contain and control everyone around them, which is exactly what Stalin did by repressing everybody. And I remember when the Iron Curtain fell, my husband, who is British, had known about the Croatian, the Croatian, Serbia, and I can't remember the third country that was in there. And he said, "Oh my God, they were great as Yugoslavia because they all hated Tito. I mean, they all had a common enemy." But he said one state's Christian, one state's Orthodox, and one state is Muslim. And he said that's going to be awful when they break. And when they broke apart, that was that horrible war. And now, but before that war started, when they all hated Tito, they all got along. They were all intermarrying and everything. So I think that when Ukraine wins, then Russia will shut the F up.
So in the past, I got 3 of Pentacles, cooperation, 7 of Wands, the boundaries, and then 5 of Wands, petty conflicts.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point, it feels like they were one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's giving me the feeling of a divorced couple.
Mm-hmm.
They're always going to bicker over things, right? Not get along. So it's petty conflicts of once merged or in a union. And then in the current is wishes fulfilled, trying to count their blessings, causing financial hardships in the Hierophant. The karma.
Well, Ukraine has more
It feels like Russia, of course, wants their resources,
Mm.
And wants to be more financially great.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going the opposite direction, obviously, because they didn't win in 3 days. Moving forward, a lot of betrayal with the 5 of Swords, because they're basically both Russian, right? And there's a no-win situation. The 5 of Swords. Knight of Wands is the better energy is winning. The better knights are winning. And there's a Tower coming. Delusions are blown away. And ruins. In the end, I get the Fool. There's new beginnings. 2 of Swords, balanced forces. The Hermit. Russia will be a pariah. And the Magician. Any resourceful countries, greater minds will come together to make this a better situation. So what this read tells me is that Russia will lose because they were the aggressor and trying to destroy a boundary that was set long ago. And at one time, they were one. So, like I said, it feels like a bad marriage breakup that's coming back into play. Kind of what's going on now. We get the Hitler 245 karma thing coming full force on us. And we need to break these boundaries and make it whole again. It's kind of like the same thing.
Well, they're cousins. I mean, and
right.
the Russians did that to themselves because during the time of the Soviet Union, they populated eastern Ukraine with a lot of Russian people and made them primarily Russian speakers instead of Ukrainian speakers. That's how come Zelensky speaks both Russian and Ukrainian and other things.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned before, but I went to Ukraine in 2006.
Oh,
just lovely. It's so sad to see all the destruction, the ancient buildings and cathedrals and churches, and just beautiful. And the people are gracious. There was a few scammers. I got taken for like $50 from a Polish guy that was there in port. He did a sleight of hand thing. He asked me for cash. He's like, all I got is this $100 bill or whatever. I need smaller bills in America. And I go, well, yeah, I think I do. Well, when I was playing with my money, he had me look away and somehow he took a 50.
Oh dear.
So it's like we were exchanging money and I only had like 96. Something like that. It was kind of
yeah. When people get you caught up in that crap.
yeah. So I'm looking at all my money and then later on, I'm like, oh, he was a nice guy, you know. And I went to buy something else, and all of a sudden I'm like, where'd my 50 go? So his little
with the Polish guy
trickery gained him $50.
Oh, Diana Hill wants to know where she can buy your deck of cards.
Oh, I don't have any more of those. All I got is the ET Oracle decks. The yeah, I never the requests in the purchase one is not worth it unless I have people wanting to. I can reorder, but if you purchase one deck to get made, it's pretty much like
it's like making a master deck.
It's like $40-$50.
Yeah, you don't want it
because the more you make, the less the cost is. So I did like 50 at a time, which brought it down quite a bit. So yeah, unless I get 20-30 requests for more decks, it's not possible.
Okay. RY, thank you for your super sticker.
Okay, we did that.
That one.
Oh, Mark Carney. Here we go. Mark Carney won, and they're supposed to have a meeting coming up. Cecilia tomorrow. Today, Orange Jesus still thinks they need to be the 51st state. Obviously,
I can guarantee you, my cousins up there do not think they need to be the 51st state. They're inviting me to come back home if I want to make Canada home again. But Canada, my parents were born in Canada. For those of you who are going, what the hell is she talking about? And I have cousins all over the place up there. But it's very cold, and it's not where I belong. I mean, even I visited a lot as a kid. It's beautiful. They live in a gorgeous part along Lake Ontario. And if I want to, I can take a bridge across and go visit Detroit anytime I want.
In the past, 45 caused a lot of chaos.
Yeah, let's put 45 in the room with the guy who's got a PhD in economics and his
That's right. I think you were cool. Following. You're welcome, Diana. Okay. In the past, I get the High Priestess, the World, and Ten of Swords. That just feels like executive orders and whatnot to try to take over the world.
That's what he's trying to
do. Let's see. Current energy is the Hermit. I think we're gonna. That's a soul searching card. 8 of Wands and 2 of Wands. So there's movement there. So I think there is going to be a meeting happening. But it feels like 45 will be shut out in some ways. I don't think there's an agreement going to be coming up because I got the Hangman, 3 of Pentacles, and the Sun. So the Hangman's going to be like, it's going to be stuck for a while. I think Carney will bring up things with the 3 of Pentacles and bring things to light with the Sun. Talk about the partnerships and whatnot, but the Hangman's saying it's it's going to be delayed. Eventually, on the bottom of my deck, I do have giving and receiving with the Six of Pentacles. So I would say something eventually. Well, we've seen things getting better in our monthly reading. So, in the end, Six of Cups, going back to the past the way they were. Four of Swords is a sickness card, but it's kind of like taking a rest, a break. Ten of Pentacles is working on the frustrations, and Empress. Taking things slow is the way it should be. So it feels like he's going to be the statesman here. Tell him how it is. And 45 is not going to agree to anything. So there's going to be more delays with that Hangman and Four of Swords energy. From going to Six of Cups would say, go back to the original agreement, the way things were, but there's this pause. There's this. So eventually I think it gets there, but Carney wins this round. What do you think?
This is the one that's meaningful to me in the whole reading. This is a Five of Pentacles. They got no place to meet. I mean, you can't have the village idiot next to a very bright man and have him not. But I think Carney tries to lay down some foundations for where talks can go after that. So I think he's going to be a gentleman and a scholar. But what can I say? I checked it. Newark Airport's reporting that flights are being delayed. It's because United Airlines is having staffing problems. That's an internal company thing. I work with the airlines. There's all sorts of reasons why those things happen.
I did see people talk about the International Criminal Court because of these the trade policies. I mean, it causes chaos, it causes hunger, poverty by breaking international law. Trade. Rose did a few cards, see what it says. I don't think so, but with these broken trade agreements and the chaos created, go to the International Criminal Court. Heartbroken, complete failure, and universal love card, Chariot.
Okay.
Patience, energy. I don't have a justice card here. I just see a lot of chaos. The heartbroken and disaster failure of the trade.
Yeah.
The tariffs.
Okay, what I got was Hangman. And that sort of set up the rest of it. It's like there's no spirit in this. No one's fighting for it. There's no great change. This card would be great change. No great change. I think they're going to wait and see how it works out. I'm going to take a longer view. We have to have tariffs first. We don't have any tariffs yet.
Well, I think it's more like how long will this economic crazy last?
Through the summer. If what you and I've seen in our readings on June and July, I think by October we're going to be somewhat out of it.
Well, all the tariffs have to quit.
They have to be imposed. He can't impose tariffs. You have to have Congress impose tariffs. As far as I've seen, they've imposed nothing.
I mean, China is stopping shipments and whatnot.
Oh, well, no, countries' reactions to what the tariffs are going to do. Right. I think it's going to be summer.
My daughter's friend canceled building their homes because the builder said because of lumber costs from Canada, it's going to add $300,000 to your house.
Mm-hmm.
So they canceled building their house.
Mm-hmm.
You
Smart
know,
move.
they have the lot. It was going to be about a $500,000 house. It's now $800,000 if they want to continue.
Mm-hmm.
So there is effects here. So let's say, how will these effects last? Give me a timing card, Spirit. Okay. Knight of Coins, King of Swords, things getting better. Wheel of Fortune. Timing. Well, I'm seeing the money problems. I get the Wheel of Fortune, which is December on my cards. Six of Swords is 6 weeks, June. Another Six of Cups. Creator. How long? I'm trying to concentrate on how long will the pain last. Yeah, we're probably talking as far as the pain, December.
Yeah, that's what I got. I got the Ace of Swords reversed, which means at the end of fall, which is December 31st.
So
apparently we are going to have a $2 Christmas.
Yeah. Because it's going to take so long to get it back what's already been started with global trade and infrastructure. I'm thinking next month. I'm getting 2 6s here. So next month, sometime end of the month, everything will be reversed and back to normal. But we're already in on crap money problem.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think we're looking to the end of the year until things get better again. It's going to be a rough year.
We're going to be clearly into 2026, but then we're going to be moving on to a brighter future. We're going to get out of prison in 2026.
The recession is already destined. Or stagflation or whatever you want to say.
And all of the federal workers who aren't working anymore.
Yeah, those positive numbers. Stephen Miller is going to slide himself into NSA. Oh my God. He would never get confirmed. Well, you never know nowadays, right? Stephen Miller. What did the card say about Stephen Miller sliding into that?
Oh, cards. Which cards am I going to mess up with Stephen Miller energy? The Black Cat.
Oh, I think they're talking about it with the magician, Susie Wilds. Oh, yeah, that would be a great idea.
What are we asking?
If Stephen Miller will be NSA. I do have a Knight of Coins coming in. It feels like someone that's had experience before. I don't think Miller has any NSA experience.
Not under this regime, but he worked with Hitler. If you believe in reincarnation.
I think it's being talked about. But I actually think someone of better quality will stand up and do it.
Okay.
I don't think it's Miller. I mean, at least for long term or whatever. Which is weird. The Six of Cups would be like someone coming back from the past. You know, like a John Bolton or something, but
no, John Bolton never would. Trump doesn't like his mustache.
I know he wouldn't, but you know, like someone that's been there or will do it for the country kind of feeling. Right. Miller could be temporary for like a year or something. 6 months or whatever it is.
No, I don't even see him getting that much. I see people losing their crap over that thought. They really, honest to God, the cards. I got the world upside down, and we have to be in a desperate space before Stephen Miller gets put in that job. And then he's trying to get to it because no matter how good things get for him, he thinks he's in a desperate space. That's the Nine of Swords. And then we have he's fighting with the Knight of Swords about this idea, whoever that is. And people just don't think that the world would, there's parts of the world that just wouldn't accept it. They take action even more quickly. So calmer heads prevail. Lovers, people who can think. Calmer heads prevail. So no, I don't think he's even get it as a temporary thing. They'd be better with blank-eyed Marco Rubio.
He's doing 3 jobs. That's not possible.
Well, he can't do one of them. So
what was your 3-parter here about that you posted in the Star?
Oh, okay.
Choose your leaders.
It's choose your wisdom and forethought. To be led by a coward is to be controlled by the coward's fears. And then you have to go to the next
I will. Yep.
thing. It's not a question. It's just a statement. Who control the fool? To be led by a thief is to offer up your most precious treasures to be stolen. To be led by a liar is to ask to be told lies. To be led by a tyrant is to sell yourself to those. Next frame.
Oh shoot, it's not there.
It should be.
Oh, I didn't star it.
It's one right below this one.
Right. I don't have it starred though.
No, okay.
But yeah, you get the idea, right?
Mm-hmm. It's to be led by a tyrant is to sell yourself and those who love slavery. That's the last end of that phrase.
Okay.
And that was written by Olivia E. Butler, and it's on the Parable of Talents. Thank you. That was lovely. She put that in last night right after I posted we were coming on. When I put my little thumbnail of Trump telling Jesus he was a better Christian than Jesus was because Jesus was too woke.
Yeah, I try to tell my MAGA friends, please look up woke in the dictionary and tell me if it's really a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they read, so there you go, Deb. We are the resistance. Keep that mojo high and resist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, last question before inspiration. Jeff wants to know, does Trump really not know what due process is?
I don't think he knows what it is because it would require complex thoughts.
You think someone would sit him down and say, sir, everyone has to be judged in the court of law before being deported?
Or put someone in jail. Then when they're in jail, we decide if we're going to deport them. We don't. Actually, if they've had due process, they go to prison. That's the difference between jail and a prison.
Okay. He just wants to be a strong man. He doesn't. He thinks the courts are too slow.
Mm-hmm. Except for him. God, it took forever to get his shit through the courts.
As far as what he wants to do with immigrants and whatnot. He wants to work around the process. That's all they want is a workaround. Magician, Knight of Swords, 10 of Swords. They just want to create anxiety, pain as quick as possible using the military and work around things with the magician. In the end, I got Knight of Wands doing it quick.
Mm-hmm.
without any decisions, patience, and it's all about dreaming, delusions, and fantasy with the Seven of Cups. So yeah, I think he knows what due process is, but I think they think with Tom Homan and all of them, just throw in the Nine of Swords and do it before they can get caught. So yeah, I think he knows what it means and what they're supposed to do, but they don't care. Justice is too slow. We don't want to go through the courts. But they're going to find out with that tower.
Yep. What I saw is, yes, he does. He knows, and he knows he's had it explained to him. He wants to move us to another place where it isn't important. He wants to work with people that will do that. This is the wish of his heart, and I'm not saying this is good. And it's because he wants to become the emperor. He wants to become the one who runs everything. He knows exactly what it is. And what's more is, the more that it upsets people that he seems to not know what it is, the happier it makes him.
Fear is their let's see. Fear is their dope or adrenaline.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they just put fear into the people and make them all happy. Don't come in here. So yeah, but it's gonna all change. And I seen they were trying to have negotiations with like Rwanda and another country in Africa to house migrants. They're trying to do another deals there to just ship them to a third world country far away.
Well, they're having the same discussions in Europe about people that are displaced. Now, the wars that were started by our countries are the reason they're displaced. So, you know.
This is true, Weezy. Mango Mussolini had more due process than anyone. And he shouldn't have. Hello from Ohio. There you go, Teresa. Yeah. It's the Project 2025 plan.
Mm-hmm.
Skip the justice system. But it's going to fail. I think our courts are going to hold.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Inspiration cards. What can we look forward to this week? How to hold the line. Find some love cards there, Nancy Jean.
Oh, is that our... Are we asking what's going to go on next week, or are we going to ask?
Just inspiration. We're at hour and 30.
Okay.
Whatever you want to do. Weekly inspiration.
I'm going to pick.
Oh.
What?
Oh, 3 major arcanas randomly come out.
Oh, my God.
I like it. Powerful week. A very powerful week.
Mm-hmm.
Justice card.
Very good.
Archangel Raguel. The fight for justice and equality. Don't give up. Rulings will be made in our favor. The Strength card. Strength and grace through kindness, self-confidence, and forgiveness. And then the World. We have completion. Archangel Michael. Happy endings. Coming full circle. Spiritual growth and insight. I think this is telling me when we start seeing justice, things balancing, it'll bring in strength of our soul and our minds and our vibrations, and we will explode with the world with those happy endings and spiritual growth. I think we need balance back in the system to make us more proud, make us more confident, and it's coming with justice.
Well, what I got, I pulled from Witching Hour Oracle, which is a oracle deck I keep for my Halloween readings normally, but it was the closest one to grab. And what I pulled was, this is a great card. The spell is cast. Surrender now and let go. The universe is doing its thing. And the companion to this is the star, which is new goals. There comes a part of every spell when you're done all you can do. You've cleared your space, you've focused your energy, you've said your invocation, you've done all the necessary steps to the universe. It's time to let go, let the universe work its magic, surrender, trust, and flow. I think that's wonderful because it's all those things of, oh, if I could only manifest this, or if I'm keeping, just let it go. And it's amazing how ignorant I am of the news. People have to call me to tell me what's going on, or my kids tell me if they think there's something I really ought to want to hear. But it is time to just let it go, because you are then so much more at peace. And these guys only win when they keep us on the edge of fear. When they keep us at a boiling point,
Yep.
is when they win. And God knows that's not the thing that I want to ever think that I helped in any way, shape, or form their energy feel that it won. And it's not always easy. I mean, I wake up in the morning thinking, holy shit. And I wake up in the morning thinking, I never want to hear that voice again. That will be the happiest day of my life. And I will never watch any newsreels of Trump either.
Yeah. It's there you go, Oxford Cat. Yeah. Fear is what's keeping us down. Any talk of fear, any, worries about deportation, that's fear, but it's real in our communities.
It's real for the people who have to put up with it. And I send them love and light and grace to be able to put up with that.
Yes.
Like I told you, that day I went into my tiny little post office, where I used to have my post office box. I was going in actually to close it. And there were 5 people waiting to get to the passport part of that office. I had, in the 4 or 5 years I've gone there, I'd seen maybe 3 people ever at waiting to get into and they were people holding small children, and they were getting the passports for the babies so they couldn't come take their babies.
Oh.
And that struck me that day. It struck me, well, and if you have to take those precautions, you have to take those precautions.
Yeah.
What precautions can I take? I'm turning 76. I live where I live. I've got a big mouth. They can pull it up on YouTube if they really. And why would they want to come get me? I have a friend. Is it safe to say those things?
You need to get some Hot Wheels.
Is it? Yeah.
You need some Governor Wheelie Hot Wheels. Just jump on your little rascal, and you can't get.
I found a trike, a motorcycle. It's a trike that has a dragon on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Put it on your magic wish list.
That's true.
Bring me my trike with my dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Cecil, bring it to me.
Yes, Cecil. It wasn't as cute as Cecil, but
Lisa Foster. The park I walk every day is a lot of foreign people there. I don't know if they're legal or illegal, but I worry every time I walk through there, but I'm going to see ICE come there. Oh, okay, yeah. You worry for them as you see them, yeah. I mean, it's rough nowadays. Just walking, seeing people. I'm like, even on my job when I drop off meat to customers and whatnot, there's a lot of Mexican immigrants working at these meat shops and whatnot. And last week, because Trump administration wants to get rid of the FDA, we have a meat inspector that comes to the shop to check over things weekly. And I said good morning to him as we were crossing paths, and I looked back and I go, "Are you going to have a job?" And he goes, shakes his head, and he go, "I do today."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a friend who just got fired from the FDA in DC. He used to work with me in politics here, brilliant man, and he just got laid off. And he said he's going to some, he's got somewhere else he's going to go, but he's originally from San Antonio. And, I really, I walked into a restaurant that I go to for my greasy spoons when I have one greasy spoon breakfast a week. And I went in to tell the manager that they had this one waitress and she always makes every meal a delight. And I wanted to make sure she got a compliment just because that was on my head that day. I'm like that. And I went in and she was there and there was a man that I'd never seen there before, but there was no staff out on the floor. There were very few people in the restaurant. And it was right after they'd started just arresting people, pulling them out of workplaces and stuff. So I walked up to her and I said hi, and I said, I was kind of looking around, and they served me my lovely eggs Benedict breakfast, and I said, I want to talk to your manager. She said, I am the manager, and I said, oh, I didn't know that because she never had manager on her badge. And I said, well, I just wanted, then I guess I get to tell you. And I told her how going in there and being greeted by her and her being so nice was, and I said, you're always so gracious. And I said, this place is awfully quiet today. And isn't that new staff, the guy that was sitting in the back? She said, no, that's my husband. She actually owns that restaurant. It's her restaurant. And she said that they had made decisions on which staff should come in and which should not, because it's primarily Hispanic, I was presume. But I don't know who's going to wait on you in Texas if they're not. Anyway, and she said, I said, well, I'm so sorry for you. And she said, it's very scary. But she said her husband was there. And actually the whole kitchen was being run by family members of hers. She said, we're fourth generation Texans. So we know where we all came from. But that obviously, but at that point we hadn't heard all the stories that made difference. Anyway, I went in there a week ago. She was back to her normal staffing people and stuff. People had gotten around the fear and around the hiding in their apartments and things, or had figured out where it was safe to go. And it's still a great restaurant. And it was full of people being served food.
Yeah. Good.
But
okay. We'll call it a day.
That's right.
Thank you for showing up. It was a good show.
Thank you, everybody.
And thank you, everyone that donated and showing up and being part of this process of love and light and learning. And
one more thing, Scott, an advertisement for me.
Yep.
We have not started the Tarot class. If you are interested in learning Tarot, go to my website, crystaldirections.com, and look it up. We have a few more openings in it, and we won't open the class unless we have enough people to really teach, because you have to have a certain number. It's just doesn't work as well. And so if you're interested in helping that way and you've decided, well, I'm going to do something this spring, come on over. You can read your own cards. And not that Scott and I don't want you to be here on a Sunday morning, but you can read along with us.
Yeah, reading along is great. Good practice.
Mm-hmm.
See if you get the same cards. And some do. I think Jeff.
Are you going to be doing anything else outside of driving the truck and coming and visiting with me?
Not right now, no. After I'm done here, I'm going to take a little break, and then I'm going to do a recorded video with a newish reader. She was here earlier, so I'll get to meet a new person. Probably put that video out tomorrow. Her channel is Melissa Reads Tarot, I think it is. Mm-hmm. But get to meet her in person, so
cool.
I'm always open to collabs, to meet people. I love meeting people and share if we can. So there we go. Everyone have a blessed Sunday. Thanks for hanging out.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.